Hi everyone. Thanks for inviting me. Thanks for organizers. Thanks for NSLondon. Thanks for good news. To be honest, I didn't expect my final interview will be here in good news. Okay, I'm really excited to be here. So to see full house today, I mean a lot of people. So I didn't expect, and I hope that you all come here to talk, to listen about SwiftUI animations. Yeah, maybe I'm not right, but anyway, I would like to think so. Yeah, why I would like to talk about these topics. So everyone know that animations in interface design is important. And so, in general, animations is good, but what does it mean good? Yeah, it's not just about just beauty. It's a little bit more. So yeah, animations are like clever trick. It helps us as a developers to move focus users from one part screen to another one, and so on. Yeah, and this is a really powerful tool, and I think we all must use animations. Yeah, just not about beauty, not for beauty, but as a functional part. And I love iOS for these their smooth animations. That's why I became an iOS developer. So I like using apps with animations, and I like building an application with animations. Yeah, but when I became a developer, I realized that 90% of time I'm just sending requests to servers. Yeah, what's going on? This is reality. But my topic today is to change this a little bit. So I would like that every developer think about animations a little bit more, right? And yeah, a little bit me. Yeah, my name is Alex. I'm working for Deliveroo, but today I will speak for my personal. I will share with you how easily you could create animations with SwiftUI, just with a couple of lines, and you benefit a lot from this. Yeah, I've created, I don't know, maybe thousands of screens. Yeah, I spent hundreds of hours debugging SwiftUI and UIKit, and I would like to share this with you a little bit. A little mark. I mean, SwiftUI. So I have a really tough relationship with SwiftUI. So yeah, it's like a magic box, and you can't control anything. I mean, you have tons of defaults and unintentional behavior, right? And that's why, yeah, it's really tough. But today, I would like to show you, even with this, you still could build just fast and smooth animations. Yeah, yeah. Let's get started. Our plan today. So we will start with our main topic. I mean, what is it? What Disney told us about animation and animation principles? What's this? Then we will move to also interesting questions. So what's important? So I told that it is important, but do you really I mean will believe to my word? Yeah. Yeah. We will discuss this. Then we will move to the code. Yeah. Now we are talking about tech topics. Yeah, we'll move to SwiftUI animations, and yeah, at the end we will sum up everything and we'll try to build just line to line powerful animations. And we will look on my demo I prepared. Yeah, let's get started. So yeah, Disney principles of animation. Long story short, let's start with the first one. Yeah. I will discuss not all of them, couple of them, just because we have limited of time, but I will not main one. I mean, squash and stretch. So when you see bouncing ball in a cartoon or on a screen, so it squashes when hitting on the ground and stretches when bouncing up. So Why it's there? Because it shows weight and flexibility of objects on the screen, and same applies for our interfaces. Yeah, it makes interfaces feel alive and responsive, right? When you press button, so you feel it. Yeah, to be honest, user might not notice it consciously. Yeah, but they will feel it. Yeah. Okay, then next one is staging. Yeah, it's very important to place elements on the screen in a proper way. So you can direct attention to what is really important. And same applies to screens. When you dim your screen, I mean with some opacity, you move attention of your user to some other part of screen. Yeah, so as simple. Next one, straight ahead, action, and pose to pose. In traditional animations, artists had to draw each frame. Before that, they need to draw just keyframes. And this is exactly the same what we are doing when we are running animations. We are just telling our UI frameworks what state do we want at the start of animation and at the end. And SwiftUI or UIKit draw everything between these. So, nice one. We all definitely used it, but didn't know how it called. Slow in and slow out. Yeah, it's about timing. I mean, if you release a ball to the ground, so it starts accelerating, right? It will not move with some constant speed. Nothing in nature moving with constant speed. And why shouldn't we use this rule in our app? So it makes feel everything more natural. Yeah, linear animation on the left and easing animation on the right. It feels much better. Exaggeration. So it's something about fun, right? If you look at this bouncing ball, in reality, it probably shouldn't shake the earth when it lands. Yeah, but why not? Yeah, it's just about fun. And same we could apply to our, I don't know, buttons, some forms. So if we exaggerate something, user could easily see it. Yeah, we can make it slightly prominent, more attractive for users. And the awesome thing that these principles was made 100 years ago. Yeah. In Disney Studio, and we could easily these rules apply to our mobile interfaces. So I think it's awesome, yeah. And with these principles, your apps stops feeling like a collection of buttons, yeah, and starts feeling like living thing. Yeah, let's move to the next topic. So why animation is important? As I said so animations are important, but why? Let's categorize our animations, right? I split on kind of multiple categories. First, I think animation are using for navigation. Yeah, when you push, for example, in navigation stack, when you push your app, new screen appears with sliding animation. It gives context for users that he could easily return back to previous screen. And same for pop-ups. When we open pop-up, we dim our screen, not just because we can, just to give context to user, so that if user press on dimmed background, he could easily return to previous screen. Yeah. So next one is status. I think it's also very, very important kind of animation. So you, as a developer, your main goal to solve some user problem, yeah? And if you are solving it with some timing, so you need to show users in what stage of solving problem you are. You need to show loader, progress bar, or I don't know, if some error occurs, you need to show this error. So why you are logging errors but not showing to users? Yeah, don't do this. Next one is a feedback. So in general, when users communicate with your with your app, it's like two-way communication. User talk something to the app, do with the app, and you as an app, you need to respond to them and respond as fast as possible. That's why we have main thread, right, in our application. And so in this example, you see when user doing something, your app immediately react to this user actions. So it implicitly teach users how to interact with your app. Next one also teach how to interact, but in other ways instructional, like onboardings. You can show hidden functionality, hidden gestures, how to press button or teach something. Next one is delightful. So it's just about beauty. So you build brand connection between user and your app as a product. So it makes apps memorable. But not only. So this type is hardly measurable. This type of animation is hardly measurable with metrics. But believe me, it's very important, and we will see how people measure this. To be honest, I love micro animation. So when you rotate your screen, or when button have some great effects. So and final is emotional. So it is kind of similar to previous one, but have a little bit another goal. So just to add gamifications feeling to the app. So it's like firework on your Apple Watch on the 3rd gen, or confetti when your user bought something inside your app. So it helps. As I said, hardly measurable, but still measurable. And how to measure, right? We will look on an example with loading screen, but the same thoughts could be applied to different type of animations. Let's dig in. When we are talking about metrics and importance of animation, we need to measure it in a quantitative way, with numbers, obviously. For loading screen, we could just collect metrics of loading duration, drop-off rate, when users dropped from our animations, at the start or at the end, and about duration, it will help us to choose proper animation. If it's short animation, maybe we don't need any animation. If it's long one, maybe we should show something special. I don't know, maybe cartoon. Okay. Qualitative way is it's not about numbers. Numbers are not always important. Especially in case of animations. So there are a couple of metrics like perceived performance. So this is a metric of how user feel the duration of animation. User can feel that this animation took 3 seconds, but in reality it took 6 seconds. Why don't we use it? For long loading, I think it's perfect. Then emotional response, this is all about just if user like it or don't like it, like his reaction in his mind, and clarity. So the user understands what's happening, because if a user don't understand that, then it's better to not to use animation at all. Next, kind of obvious. How to collect our metrics. So obvious. First is analytics. So we add some numbers, as I said, with duration, with our business metrics. Revenue. Then A/B tests. Split users on different groups and analyze numbers on the step behind. User research, just talk directly to users, sits with them, watch how they use the app, and survey. So it's like user research, but more generally, And one little example of this, how Facebook developers, Instagram developers changed animation and collected and analyzed their metrics. They changed spinner animation to skeleton, yeah? They didn't change the duration of loading screen, right? And they got perceived loading time increasing by 30%, right? Retention and engagement 10%, and satisfaction rate 20%. So it's awesome. They didn't change nothing, just change type of animation. And you all can do this. Just add animations or experiment with different ones, for example, for different durations. Yeah, and let's move to the code, finally, right? 15 minutes, and so we are just starting. Okay, SwiftUI animations. As I said, I have really tough relationship with SwiftUI. And when I was preparing for this talk, I spent, I don't know, not 1 hour, yeah, to be honest, more than, I don't know, 10 hours trying to understand why particularly this animation don't work. Why? So this is how it works. But anyway, let's try to understand. So, for example, we have our view, we have this tag with 3 subviews, spacer, don't count, our rectangle slash circle, and button, yeah? Our rectangle, so we have shape, corner radius, and so our frame. And as we can see, when we press button, our internal state changed, but we don't have any animation. How to run it? To work with animations, we need to remember 2 rules, yeah? First is running animation. So no matter how, implicitly or explicitly, you can use animation property or with animation method. And yeah, that's simple. You all already have ready running animation. Yeah, but let's look on another example. So if we have conditional inside our view, for example, if or switch state, so our render tree is, changing not only with properties but with views, yeah, under the hood. So our rectangle disappears and appears between different states, internal states of view. And with that, we need to remember second rule. So we adding animation explicitly or implicitly, yeah, as we learned before. And second, we add transition. So for appearing and disappearing, right? And we can use slide, opacity, so opacity default transitions that apply to you if you apply animation. But here I applied, so slide and opacity transition. Yeah, that's work. Yeah, 2 rules, adding animations, adding transitions, right? What's the difference between with animation method and animation property? So first is a scope. When you're using explicit with animation method, so you are working with global scope. So all views inside current view will be animating. So all properties of this view. And second, so the syntax is imperative. So you just explicitly run animation. So you are talking that changing state from old one to new one should be animated. Yeah, second one is animation property. When you add this, you have control on your scope. So in our particular example, we are adding animation on this tag, and so scope is the same, whole view. But if we change our placement of our property to, for example, rectangle, so our scope changed. Now all changes on rectangle between our internal state changes will be animated. But if you change something on button, so it will not work. It will work without animation. And yeah, second one is syntax. Yeah, it's different. It's implicit. You don't tell just run animation. You tell that if state changed, so just animate my views. Yeah, there is no right one. Yeah, in different situations we use different different ways. Yeah, a little bit about timing. So we talked about animation principles, right? Is, in, out. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure you all use this. No matter SwiftUI or UIKit, there are spring, some easing, linear. You can create your custom one. Yeah, I just mentioned this. And so some specifics. Yeah, I've told that I spend a lot of time debugging. Yeah, SwiftUI, especially. So yeah, it's a weird one, but sometimes it works not as you intended. How all SwiftUI works. Yeah, position of animation method matters, but not always. Yeah, it's interesting. So for example, if you apply frame or padding, so position of this modifier is really important. I mean, when you read your view from bottom to top, you understand so where it should be added. But this animation is not true. I mean, sometimes it works so for all properties above, but sometimes it covers all properties at the bottom. Yeah, it's weird. Some containers animating their content very pure, like scroll view or lazy containers, and some of containers could also have implicit animations like default style button. Yeah, as I said, a lot of hidden defaults. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and sometimes if you feel that you made everything correct, but it's still not working, try on simulator or real device. Preview sometimes don't work. Yeah, it's not in use. Okay, yeah, let's move to the last topic. Let's grab all we learned and apply this on our demo. Let's see on our demo. Yeah, we are opening our app. We are waiting a lot. Yeah. So user adding items to the cart, yeah, and adding items to favorites. Yeah, you see hearts. Then he moved to the cart tab and trying to start checkout progress in the basket. Yeah, so now he pressed, something happened. Yeah, cart is empty is probably because so we are started. So we processed the order. Yeah. What problems do we see? So first, long startup time. So let's not talk about how to improve startup time. Yeah, let's pretend that it's impossible. We need to wait a lot. Let's add some animation for this to improve user perceived waiting time. Yeah, just to feel that user feel this animation took less than in real life, right? Then what other problems? So it's hard to tell when people add items to the cart. Proof that people adding something is a right bottom corner when user tap to the add cart button. So number in a cart growing, yeah, but nothing changed in the other screen. Yeah, then there is no visual feedback during checkout flow. As I said, user tap checkout. But yeah, nothing happened. Yeah, there is no any feedback, right? And in general, so in this app lacked visual coherence and smoothness. Yeah, there's no any animation. It looks not as iOS application. Yeah. Okay. A little disclaimer: I'm not a design guru. Yeah, I will advise you some animations, but yeah, they could be not perfect. And I will skip some properties on a SwiftUI code, yeah, because they're not important in our case, yeah? Yeah, let's start with launch screen. So we have our launch screen. We have two properties like our main content view, so our app itself, and so binding is finished. I mean, when our app stop loading, so it's finished, become true, right? And so we put it on in this tag, yeah. At the front we have rectangle, at the back we have our content view. Yeah, let's add mask. So it is so easy. I mean, adding mask, horizontal stack with 5 circles. Yeah, that's how it works. Then let's add animation. Yeah, we are adding just our trigger, so it's boolean is animating. We are starting this when view appear and adding our animation property. So and running repeat forever animation with delay. And we also have, we already see how it looks nice. But let's add a little more. So we now see two different conditionals. So if and else branch, right? In else, all remains the same. It's a horizontal stack with 5 circles, yeah? But if animation finished, we would like to add large circle. The large circle that is larger than a screen with 100 width and height. And when we are animating, we would like to change our views, I mean from else statement, from the central view, from the center circle to the main, our circle in the first, in the if statement. And to smoothly animate between these, we are adding just matching geometry effect property. And so we should align our identifiers should be the same. Yeah, and now you see we have this beautiful animation. So it's so simple. Yeah, and of course we don't. So yeah, we need to add animation property. Yeah, let's go next. I mean, it is impossible to understand if we added something to the card. So now we have just button. So add to the card. So it's just some default button. Let's add a little more inside it. Yeah, we are adding minus button and text button and label with counter how much items in the cart, and we are also adding our button, and inside we decide will it be plus button or add to cart button. Yeah, and adding animation, right? And now it feels much better. So yeah, don't forget to add transition as well. Yeah, as I taught you, I mean adding animation, adding transition. Yeah, and it works. And also interesting thing that we could add content transition for label for our text, and we will get beautiful number changing transition for free. Yeah, almost with one line of code. Yeah, let's go next. Let's modify our like button. So for now, I mean, it's also pretty simple. It's just button with changing image, let's add animation and content transition, and it already looks pretty nice. But we will go next. We will add custom property, particle effect. Inside this, it's just view modifier with some additional code. It's just overlay with this tag, and in this tag we draw I don't know, 10 additional images, and when our state for like button changing from false to true, I mean to is liked, we are starting animate those 10 images. Yeah, that's simple. Yeah, that's it. I think it looks nice, much better. Yeah, last one is a checkout button. Yeah, now, yeah, as usual, it is just simple button with some background, foreground. Yeah, and as a content is a horizontal stack with some text, spacer, and our price. I would like to have 4 different states for button: in normal state, loading state, error state, and done state, success. Adding enum with all these states and putting all of this in this tag. So it depends on the current button state, we will draw different content. Yeah, in normal state remains the same. Yeah, don't forget to add tint and so corner radius. Yeah, after that, as usual, as you could expect, we are adding animation and we are adding transition. and also content transition, that we learned from previous example. Yeah, and that's it. That's it. It works. So for now we have beautiful animation between states. Yeah. So let's see. Yeah, some is changing with content transition. Then we got loading state with nice animation, and then we have error state. And interesting thing how we run this shake effect. Yeah, between loading and error. We created our trigger, and we're gonna choose another way of running animation. Yeah, with animation method, we are putting our trigger to true when button became error, and without animation. And after that, we are putting it back to false with animation. Yeah, and this is just works. Yeah, and last one, like cherry on the top. So one of animation type is just feedback to the user, and iOS have great framework for this. So it's called haptic, and with SwiftUI it's also really simple. You just add one property, sensory feedback, and choosing what time of impact you need to run and when. I mean when your state changed. Yeah, and that's it. And I love haptic framework in iOS as a user as the first time. I mean, yeah, I think we are done with our demo, and I think we made it really much better. So today we looked at animations from different angles. Yeah, and let's summarize what we learned today. So first, we learned Disney principles of animation. So what are they? How we could apply these to our mobile interfaces. Then we talked about animation in general. What types do we have, and why it's really important? How to measure result of editing our animations. And then we dig into SwiftUI animation, so how it works, how simply we could add it to our app, and we ended up with applying all we knew today together. So we really improved our app. Yeah, final recipe. So use all system instruments. So just if you have haptic, so why don't we use it? So if you have smooth, nice API in our UI kit or SwiftUI, why don't we use it? I mean, in a purpose way, in a meaningful way. And yeah, in that way, animation should be clear and intuitive, meaningful and purposeful. So please don't run animations because you can. Before that, just think what this animation will help with. I mean, what this simplify for a user. Okay, yeah, to sum up, animations can be both simple and complex. And so when I was preparing or when I was building a lot of apps, so I felt like it's really complicated. But for you, I hope you now could feel how easily it could be. So I tried to tell you this interesting thing. I mean, and now I hope when you see any animation inside any app, your app or some other app, I hope you will try to understand why this animation exists. So what this animation helps with, right? And to be honest, life without animation is really boring, but life with SwiftUI animation is tough. But anyway, I will choose live with tough SwiftUI animations that live without this. Yeah, thank you very much.